Okay, so to connect the ClearPath servo up to some kind of a motion controller, like the standard, Arduino with the GRBL shield, or to the standard ramps Marlin system, you're going to need something to convey the step and direction signals that are coming out of these Pololu headers over to the actual servo. So the servo, the SD model of the servo takes step and direction signals just like any stepper motor driver would. So we have an adapter here that takes the Pololu output, where these little Pololu drivers would normally plug in, and turns it into a PMinMO standard header, which is close to the pinout, it turns out, of the ClearPath servo. So same sort of a thing on this one, this little guy here. So you have this cable provided by the nice people at ClearPath. Kind of expensive, but it's quality, so that's good. And there is a diagram in their manual that tells you what the pinout is. Okay, right here in the manual on page something. No page numbers? Really? Great. Okay, oh, page 35. Okay, so it's on page 35. Now the thing to notice here is that this is showing the connector from the standpoint of the servo itself. This is not the cable. So that can be a little bit confusing. You have to be careful about that. So what we're seeing on the screen there is the connector that the cable plugs into. So when the cable is this way, with the little tab on the top but pointed away from you, then that pinout on the screen is what you're seeing. So on the screen, pin 1 is over on this side, but that's this side when the connector is, or when the cable is pointing that way, plugged into the actual servo. So this is pin 1 over here, the one that I have the paper clip stuck in. And I have my monitor here set to the standard diode testing setting, so that when I contact the two leads together, we get that tone. Okay? So now here's the other end of the cable, and we've cut off their connector. And now what we can do is we can go through and just touch the wires until we find the one that is the matching pin. Okay? And I think actually pin 1 is one of the ones that we're not using correct. So that's why I didn't hear anything there going through them. I already have the connector made and I have the wires taped off. But just to show you how this works. So I'll go ahead and go to another pin here. I'm over on pin 2 now. So pin 1, pin 2. And then again, just go through these until I find the one that beeps. Okay? So it's this one right here, and we can see that it's this black wire. All right? So based on that, we make up a pinout and use that pinout to determine which wire to connect where. And then we plug that into the motion controller over here with the blue wire. I'm just checking that I have it turned the right way around since I don't have an actual polarizing plug on this one. So the blue wire is the enable wire in this particular cable. And you should pin this out yourself because we don't know that they're going to keep the same colors on the cable. They may change it. So we plug that in, and then we go to our universal G-code sender over here, and I'm going to readjust so that you can see the screen. Okay, hopefully you can see that sort of. So this is the little program that they have that monitors the motor. I'm plugged into the motor via the USB cable. And when I plugged in, it didn't come up to the step and direction thing. I had to select the mode menu and then go into mode, step and direction. But then I got to this. And it shows me, what it's seeing. So right now it's showing that the enable is on. And if I try to move the servo shaft, it's locked. So what that tells me is that the GRBL shield and the Arduino is sending out the enable in the wrong direction. And I can kind of confirm that by, if I do a move, you'll see that the enable goes off, the direction line comes on, and you're seeing steps. But the servo didn't actually move, and during the time that it was supposed to move, the shaft was loose. So obviously the enable is the wrong way around, and that means that we have to go in here and we have to find the step enable invert, which is setting number 4, and we have to change it to a 1 instead of a 0. Okay, and hopefully that's done. Okay, why is that not saving? I'm pushing save. Nice. Alright, let me pause this for a minute and figure that out. Okay, I have no idea what I was doing wrong there. Try that again. So we want to go into this particular setting, double click on it. 1. I think maybe I didn't hit enter there, which is what I needed to do. And then we hit save. You can see that it sends the command close. There we go. Okay, and now you'll see that the enable is off here. I'm going to move this down just a bit so you can see which signal is which. So now when I hit the button, you can see it enables. We get the direction line off because we're going counterclockwise, and then we get our steps. And if we go back, same thing. The enable comes on, direction comes on, and then we get our steps. And if I take the camera and move it back to where maybe you can see a little bit of both, the screen and the motor. I don't know if I can actually do that. There we go. You can see that the motor is in fact turning. And this is in fact done. Okay. And that is how you hook a ClearPath type SD servo up to a motion controller like the ramps or the GRBL shield with the Arduino. It's basically just a matter of figuring out which signal goes to where. And I'll put a link in the web page to something that kind of shows you what this is. So honestly, the little adapter here, it's handy. It's not necessarily needed. You could take these wires and just hook them up to pins of some kind instead of hooking them up to sockets, and then plug those directly into these Pololu sockets here. That would work as well. This is a little bit nicer. You can have something that can be plugged and unplugged without having to have it turned the wrong way around. And we're going to look and see if we can find the right connector that would allow you to use the unmodified ClearPath cable as well. Thanks for watching.